Hi, my name is Darlene Anderson, and today, I found out about a bill that was passed by Assembly Member Roger Dickinson. The bill was to improve passenger safety on the public transportation. And what this bill actually does is gives the police more authority to arrest people in poverty who are already struggling and who may be on the light rail without a pass or a bus without their proper bus fare. But the real deal is that over the years in Sacramento, the people in poverty have been benefiting the system, and the benefits that they bring to the system is more kind of like reaping the harvest on the poor. And so if you are a student in school and your parent happens to be poverty, well, you don't have all that money to be paying $100 for a bus pass. And you probably don't even have $50, especially if you have siblings that require transportation too. And since welfare does not provide the free bus pass anymore, and neither does Sacramento City Unified School District, I don't believe they provide some transportation, but not all students get the free bus pass. They may get a reduced bus pass. But the real deal is the hardship is on the family, because there is no additional resources for public transportation or for transportation period for the school. But the laws have become more stringent. The law says that you must be in school. Otherwise, the district has taken some of the dollars meant to provide services for children in poverty and created a truancy center. And actually, they created this truancy center, one in the north area and one in the south area. And actually, they've made a stronger partnership with local law enforcement. I believe that our district has given the law enforcement officers more than $14 million this year. And the superintendent greatly brags about his wonderful relationship for public safety with law enforcement. And since black people have never gained any kind of equity in the educational system here in Sacramento, the past superintendent a long time ago used to only focus on the 30%, and he used to say, education wasn't meant for all children, and it really had to do if your family was engaged enough or understood that they had to be in the room advocating for your child. And so if you weren't a parent that was there all the time, basically your child didn't get an education. The dropout rate in Sacramento City Unified School District is atrocious. And I want to say that they are expelling kindergartners. So they have a process in which they remove students K through third grade, K through eighth grade. And then our 912 community day school is closed. And then in place of the 912 community day school, we open up these academy programs. They're only academies in nature of the word academy. The student is removed from their home school for 30, 60, 90 days, and the district kind of brags on this process about to deter certain behaviors. But really, you tell me, does it make sense that you're in school in an educational setting, and you have your books and your coursework, everything is moving forward, and so you're gone for 30 days, or you're gone for 60 days, or you're perhaps gone for 90 days? You're not doing the same kind of work that you're expected to do in your home school. You are so far behind by the time your placement gets back into the home school. But the real deal is your dollars never left that school site. The school continued to get your funding as if you were in the seat. And the placement that you had, you've been placed somewhere in a little room on a computer, supposedly gaining accelerated credits. And this only seems to happen to minority people, perhaps because they don't understand that this is a choice, that you would choose to move your student out of the public school system only to be in a behavior program that's really not benefiting you. Because really, by the time you graduate from high school, you probably can't even still pass the assessment to go in the Army. We, as citizens and as community members, really need to hold our public officials more accountable. And this bill that Dickerson passed, it only goes to support the police and law enforcement more, because the state is not being held accountable for the SARBs. You might not know what a STARB is. A STARB is a Student Attendance and Review Board, where if you're tardy or you have some truancies, well, the district can just move you out of that school and do the school a favor. Your GPA or your grade point average is not going to get counted against the school. It's going to get counted against the district now. But your dollars are still going to stay at that home school. And so there are so many things that the public needs to hold the local districts accountable for, that we don't really need to have a representative in the assembly that would go before not all the public, go before a few people and create a bill that doesn't look out for the people in poverty. If you look at our streets in Sacramento, I want to say everywhere you look, there is a black face walking the street. It might be 100 years old. It could be 90 years old. It could be 70. It could be 2 or 3. It could be a whole family, but they're a black family. Or it could be a teenager. But most of the people walking on the street are the mentally incompetent and African American people. And this is a representative of what's going on in Sacramento, California. So I will tell you, if you don't get up in arms, we can't wait for the NAACP to do anything, because I don't know how they represent us. We can't wait for the Urban League to do something, because I don't see them representing us either. If you don't see them in those public meetings, the board meetings, the local school board meetings, where children are being affected, or in the audience of the city council, where our rights are being taken, and now we can see that the assembly members are not looking out for the rights of the people in poverty. Whatever you do to the lowest achieving people in the city, it eventually befalls on everyone, because it's a hardship. But I guess you plan on incarcerating all people and putting them in jail simply because they are not educated and they are deemed to be a public safety hazard, I guess. But if you wouldn't get an education, I guess anybody could be deemed as public safety issue. And so, this is what I'm going to say for tonight. And tomorrow I'll probably sign on and say more stuff. But, the real deal is that I've attended community meetings for years. And I have three males as my children. And I have been a great advocate for my children. And I'm willing to help any person help to advocate for their child. But the real deal is that I, as a citizen, even though I'm a taxpayer, maybe I don't pay enough taxes for some people to have a voice in Sacramento, because I don't rate right up there to sit down and meet with my locally elected official. And so I can catch my local officials out in the public. But as for a one-on-one meeting, I don't believe anybody's really concerned. But this great new media that we have, this Web 2.0, this internet, is going to bring a lot of information, and I suggest anybody who has a problem with our community of elected officials, they should take it to the web, because if you take it to their office, they're not going to say anything. So when you start putting it down on real things, it's not going to go away. This documentation and history will never go away. It will be there forever. And I know that it will outlive me. So I'm going to say that we all need to get up in arms. We all need to complain or take our concerns to the street, because obviously our people that we elect in public office are not concerned about us. So thank you, and that's what I'll say for tonight.